So if you've been following all the developments with AI-assisted coding, you've probably heard of this tool called Cursor, which lets you do lots of cool stuff inside their VS Code fork. Well, until recently, there wasn't a good way to get the same kind of functionality inside Neovim, but I've been working on something that I think is pretty nifty. So let me show you how it works. If you select some text and type NeoChat, which I've typed at the bottom here, and then go ahead and give it some instructions like add comments to this function and hit enter, what it'll do is it'll stream in a response from GPT-4 that's context aware. You'll notice it figured out that it was a Lua function on its own. It'll do what you asked it to do, in this case, add the comments, and then it'll ask you what you want to do with it. So I'm going to hit yes here. And so I just had GPT basically rewrite this function for me. And you can do this with any function in your code base or a line, whatever you want to use, which is quite handy. You can also just hit NeoChat, pop it open on the right, and so then just have a normal conversation with GPT-4 or whatever model you choose. And then you can close it with Control D. You can also generate code. So if I'm writing right here, I can do NeoChat gen. And let's give it more instructions in the bottom again. So I'm going to say get the visual selection line numbers and then copy them to the clipboard as a new function. And hit enter. So there we go. Yeah, so it basically wrote a tiny little function there. Again, it's context aware, so it followed, you notice it followed this m.copy. So in this Lua file, I have a global called m that my functions are attached to. So yeah, it figured out how to do that based on the context of the code around it. I'm going to press yes here, and it just goes ahead and inserts that new function for me. So basically, this is sort of the 80-20 of the Cursor experience. I'm planning on adding a lot of other features to this. Like I want to do the way Cursor does, they take embeddings of all the functions in your whole code base. So I'm going to be working on that next and trying to add it to this. And I'll work on the UI a little bit as well. I'd like it to be a pop-up that pops over the thing rather than using the status line the way it's currently working. But even in its current form, it's been really useful and made my code editing experience in Neovim a lot more fun and productive. And it stopped me from ever having to open up VS Code again. In order to get this working on your machine, go to github.com, nicvdp/neochat. It's very early and I'm still adding features to this, so think of this like an alpha. I'll probably have a proper README and stuff by the time this video is published, but in the meantime, you can just use any plugin manager that you're used to, like lazy.nvim or vimplug, and just put in nicvdp/neochat, and it should install as normal. The first time it starts, you'll see it download a binary. That's because it's based around this tool Cygodin/AIChat, which is a CLI-based ChatGPT client. So I'm using a custom fork of it that just tweaks a few settings to fit in better with the way it works from inside my NeoChat plugin. And the other thing you'll need to do to be able to use it inside your copy of Neovim is you'll need to set a OpenAI API key. So you can get that from OpenAI's website, and then to tell NeoChat, and by extension AIChat, the CLI under the hood that's powering this, what that your key is, you need to set an environment variable. So the convention for that is to call the variable OpenAI _API _key. The easiest way to do it just temporarily is from the Vim status line, just type let OpenAI API key equals and then sk dash whatever your key is. You can put that in your vimrc file so you don't have to type it every time, or you could set it up in your bash rc or shell rc files so that the environment variable is set before Neovim starts. Whatever's easiest for you, and when you have that set, then you'll be able to just run NeoChat like I did before and say hello, and you should get your reply from GPT. Some things that are still missing is it doesn't have an easy way to switch models yet, so right now it's using GPT-4. I'll work on updating the config for this to make that a little bit easier going forward. Yeah, and with those in place, you should be able to use NeoChat the way I showed you here and hopefully speed up your coding workflow. Feel free to leave me a comment or create an issue or PR on the GitHub repo and let me know what you think. See you next time.